some questions. A laundry list of what ifs and what is. So I figured maybe he's not the only one wondering, researching, lying in bed at night, not able to sleep. Just kidding, he's probably doing none of that. But I do like these questions. And he called me funny and informative, so that was kind of nice. A lot nicer than that guy who told me to get effed. You know who you are. So let's break these down. Get after them. Let's do like a rapid fire Q&R. Are you ready? Here we go. Number 1, is weight gain inevitable? Have I seen any COs stay fit? If you went in as a vegan CO, would they bust your balls constantly? If a train left Chicago traveling at 1,000,000 miles an hour, he didn't put that train part, I just added it. No, not necessarily. COs can stay fit, but you have to make your health and fitness a priority. Work out, meal prep, and get some good rest. I'm just kidding, you're never really gonna sleep again. So you can stay fit. Just remember that your body does do something during fight or flight that we don't have any control over. I did a video on this about a year ago, why correctional officers get fat, and I did cover some of this. If you want to check it out, go ahead and click that link there at the top. And then read some of the comments, they're hilarious. Okay, weight gain, fit, vegan, balls. Okay, balls. If you went in as a vegan CO, would they bust your balls? Yes, but not for being vegan. Well, maybe for being vegan, but for other things as well. Busting balls is our love language. It's how we tell each other how much we love and appreciate each other. So yes, your balls will get busted. Number 2, or 5, or 7. These are all multi-part questions. I love it. You ready? Diego wants to know, what are some of the cool toys that COs have bought? Shit, what haven't we bought? Why don't you guys help me out with this one? What are some cool toys that you have purchased? For work and not for work? Put them in the comments. I'm sure that there's a CO out there somewhere with a bazooka in his closet, or a crazy expensive stupid flashlight on their belt, or a gigantic boat in their garage or something. What's the coolest thing that this profession has allowed you to get? Let me know. He goes on to ask if overtime is available, and the answer is yes, maybe, probably, but for how long? Overtime is not guaranteed money, and you shouldn't rely on it to get by. It helps, and it's fun, and I know it seems plentiful at the moment, but what happens when it dries up? Where will you be? So play it smart. Save a little. Pay off some of those bills and then go buy your bazooka. Number 3-ish. Is 38 years old too old to be a CO? Nope. I don't think so. I think some solid life experience helps in this profession. And having bills and a mortgage to pay too. People with responsibilities and bills tend to show up to work, and you kind of need to show up to work in this profession, and I guess really any profession. And according to Zippia, which was the first result when I Googled average age of a correctional officer, Zippia said that our average age is 40. Good enough for me. It's on the internet, so it must be true. The age range is crazy though. Some states allow kids to start at 18, and the oldest officer I've ever served with is in his 70s. Number 4 is about burnout and CO suicide rates. He writes, are we assuming that those COs have pre-existing issues? He says, I know it's gotta be a shitty environment and it breaks you down, but the peace of mind of having your bills paid, saving money, buying toys sounds good. Also, is it a good idea to start seeing a therapist right away? Well, Diego, I'm gonna pull out my soapbox to answer this question. Are we assuming that COs have pre-existing conditions that leads to or ultimately contributes to their burnout or them killing themselves? The answer is I don't care. It's not about what they bring into the profession. It's about how the profession as a whole, the environment, the things that we see, say, hear, have to do, affects them. And it affects everybody differently. So yes, all of us bring unique things into the profession. All of us have baggage. All of us have life experiences that contribute to the way that we lead our life. All that being said, I don't care about any of that. What I care about is how the overall environment can potentially destroy a correctional officer or a correctional staff member that works inside. So I look at it like that. I take it from there. And if you go into this profession, if you think that, hey, I don't have any pre-existing conditions, then I'm going to be fine. I'm going to tell you what, Diego, honestly, and the rest of you listening to this, honestly, you're going to be more susceptible to the dangers, to the psychological damage that can happen to a correctional officer, that can happen to somebody that works behind the walls of a correctional facility, because you think you're unbreakable, because you think you have these impenetrable walls, these defenses that cannot be penetrated. I think I already said impenetrable, penetrate, but you know what I mean. You need to understand that there are physical dangers inside when you work in a correctional facility, that an officer can suffer physically from working inside. But you also need to understand that just as dangerous, if not even more dangerous, is the psychological damage, is the emotional toll, that trauma, that the environment, that the overall correctional culture can have on a correctional officer. So get all that out of your head. It doesn't matter what you're bringing into this environment. This environment will change the way that you behave, the way that you live your life. And I don't know if I agree that it's a shitty environment. It's a crazy environment. It's an alien planet. So to say that you think that it is a shitty environment and you know that it maybe breaks you down, I don't really think you understand or know what you're possibly getting into. And yes, it is nice to have a consistent income, right? It is nice to be able to have a little bit of money set aside, to take some trips, to have your bills paid. All of that is great. But sometimes the toll, the things that we have to deal with exceed those other things, right? Money is not everything, right? The ability to take a vacation is not everything. Sometimes the things that you have to deal with, that you have to put up with, are not worth it, right? So yes, it's good money. It's steady money. And that helps, right? Because if you're making $15 an hour, if you're making $14 an hour, and you're working at a shitty job, then it's a little harder to deal with or digest than if you're working for $30 or $45 an hour at a shitty job. I get that. I understand what you're thinking, but here's what I want you to do. Forget all this. Don't worry about any of this. When you go in, have an open mind. Listen to what your trainers are telling you and then go through. Look, pick up my books, When Home Becomes a Housing Unit, The Nothing That Never Happened. Read about what the potential impact of the correctional environment is on your personal life outside out of uniform. They're going to take care of you inside. They are going to tell you how to professionally handle yourself inside. But sometimes those skills don't translate so well to the outside. That's what you need to do. Check out my channel. Check out some of my podcasts. Read my books on the emotional toll that this environment can have on you, and then you make that decision, and then you go in and you're better prepared to handle the things that you have to deal with. And so then what's he say about some therapy? Is it a good idea? Also, is it a good idea to start seeing a therapist right away? Probably not. Probably not. Why would you go see a therapist right away if you don't have any problems, right? But my mantra, the thing that I pass on, the thing that I tell my coworkers, the thing that I put out on this channel and in my books is that if you feel that you need to talk to somebody about something, then it's probably time to go and talk to somebody about something. Now, that could be a friend, it could be a neighbor, it could be a coworker, it could be a priest, a pastor. It doesn't have to be a therapist necessarily, but you know yourself. You have to decide when what happens to you, what you see is overwhelming your coping mechanisms, your ability to function, right? So if you can't sleep at night, if you're starting to develop some symptoms, if you're behaving differently, if you're interacting with people on the outside differently, then maybe it's time to take a break, take a breath, and set up a time to talk to somebody. And so that's what I would say. Do you need a therapist right away? No, you don't need a therapist right away. But if you feel like you need to talk to somebody, then it's probably time that you go and talk to somebody. Does that make sense? Sorry about that. I pulled out my soapbox for a second. My apologies. I get a little passionate about the whole correctional environment destroying the lives of officers kind of thing. My bad. Give me 1 second. I need to. Okay. If you like this video, if you found value in this video, straight punch that little like icon. And if you're looking for more premium correctional content, check out this video right here. Or this one right here. All right, guys, that's all I got. Until next time, be smart, stay safe, stay sane, and we'll talk soon.